So today I'll be talking to you about how to run the Seiko timers for your events. It's a super simple process, so let's get started. The first thing you want to do when you receive your Seiko timer like this is just open the back by removing the casing. Just make sure there's 4 batteries in there. If you think the batteries need to be replaced, go ahead, then just slide the back on there. Next is the printer setup. So this guy right here, this is the printer housing unit. Make sure that your printer power is on just by flicking this switch up here. Your printer paper comes in this box. There should be 5 rolls in there. Make sure you've got tons when you're out there timing. You go through quite a bit. So your printer paper, the individual rolls comes in rolls like this. And to insert them, make sure your printer's on, feed the loose end through the top, just there. And press the feed button to make sure that the paper goes through. Once it's caught and gone through like that, you can stop and flip down the housing unit. So we're almost all set to go. What you're gonna do if you have a screen that's zeroed out like this is just unlock this start-stop button here, just flipping this button up, and then you're gonna get all of your printers together once you've got them all set up. You're gonna press start-stop on all of them together at the same time to sync them. This is the most important part of the Seiko timers, is you're going to push that lock button down. Now you can't press the stop button to unsync your timers. Once you've done that, you're all set to go. Just make sure that your printer is in the split position, not the lap split position. We don't need that for this type of event. Just another thing to note, you should never have to touch any of these 5 buttons down here. And you're ready to go. So if you're at the start, for every interval, you're going to press the lap split button. So if it's a 1.5-minute interval, the starter tells you that the horses can go through the start box and start their round. You press the button. So all you're going to do at the start is record your Seiko number. In this case, it's 1, your hours, minutes, and seconds. So here's 37 seconds. Your milliseconds we don't really care about for this type of event. Now if you're at the finish line, and let's just say you've, we're gonna reset it. You've started, but you haven't clicked this lap split button. You're at the finish, your first horse comes through the finish line. You just press this lap split reset button, big red button on the left. Another horse comes through the finish line. As soon as the horse's nose crosses the finish line, lap split reset. Another horse comes through, nose crosses the finish line, lap split reset. So for the finish, what you're going to do is write down the horse and rider number on your piece of paper, on your scoring paper. You're going to write down the Seiko number. In this case, it's 3. You're going to write down the hours, minutes, and seconds that they cross the finish line. So in this case, it would be 23 seconds that they cross the finish line. Now sometimes you might misclick or click too early, this big red button. In that case, it's totally fine. Just make sure that the other person has the right number recorded and make a note of which printout you use, because you'll have 2 Seiko timers at the finish. So once the event is completely over, and I'm not just talking about breaks between divisions, it's completely over, everyone has done cross country, you don't need the timer anymore, that is when you can unlock it and press the start stop button. So just feed the paper through until you've got enough space to be able to pull it off. So this guy is going to go with your scoring card, and it's going to go to the scorers at the very end of the day. Next, we're going to reset it so that the next person who uses the timer has a clear timer. All you need to do once you've unlocked it and you stop the timer is press this big red button, and you're back to 0. So just make sure you lock that guy again. You can't press the start-stop button, waste battery while it's stored. It's also important to make sure that the printer is powered off. We don't need this after the event is completed, just saving battery there. And once you've done that, you're all done with the Seiko timer. Like I said, it's super easy to use, super simple, so happy timing!